think it did start on here. Yes, I can see the River Nile in here. So looking forward to that. Oh man. I never kinda expected that I'm gonna be seeing this map in a competitive 1v1 match. Supremely curious how River Nile is actually gonna go. Between two fairly skilled players, of course, as Joe is one of the currently best Age of Mythology Titans players, and SuperAfim is not a half bad player himself, especially as far as vanilla goes. And well, the civilizations apparently are gonna be Isis and Poseidon. I'm not exactly sure who chose this map, but looking at the maps, or rather the civilizations, I would be expecting the Isis. I don't exactly see the reason why SuperAfim as Poseidon would be like coming for this map. I mean, like, what? So let's start, I guess. I might just even also put on the blinder so that you are not spoiled when the game is actually gonna be ending or whatnot. Anyway, we are right now going to be looking, of course, at blue, and this is gonna be apparently a funny spawn of River Nile. Sometimes it spawns the river basically across the map, but this is going to be a bit different version. It's going to be like, oh man, from corner to corner, diagonal. That's the word that I was looking for. And he's going to be, of course, having the place scouted very easily for him quite fast. He should be having enough food in there. I think that this map is quite bountiful on the food sources and whatnot. Let's switch off the Fog of War for a bit of cheating. Yeah, berries, hippos in there. Then there are going to be some extra goats. And wow, ton of zebras. Ton of zebras in the corner with the extra TCs, of course, which are going to be far away from the water. Both of them, so not really kind of issue as far as potential map control of the water goes. Otherwise, of course, the water is going to be super important, because who doesn't own the water is going to be having quite significant issues coming across. So yeah, that's probably going to be what the players are gonna be playing for in the early game. But looking at the civilizations, the Poseidon, of course, has a huge problem, because he doesn't have underworld passage, in which case he has basically like only and sole way how he can get across, and that's basically just the transport boats. He cannot do anything else. And he can potentially go for Wander, of course. That would be a strategy for him, of course, always. Whereas the Isis, he can, or rather the Isis, she can go, of course, for this dude, for Hathor, or rather Dudess. That's her. Because she does have rocks, and I'm kind of thinking that's exactly what's gonna happen in here, because of course the rocks are a pretty strong advantage on a map like this. And he's going to be even foregoing the ancestors for that kind of ability to be helping him. Anyway, so far coming for some of the hippos in there as we are listening. We're actually trying to build some extra boats or villages or whatnot, not having enough resources for that yet for SuperAfim. As we are looking around, the tower screen kinda useless, and in the early stages game is probably not going to be that exciting all that much, because of course the players are just too far away from each other. And of course they are divided hardly by the water. So what are, for example, going to be the relics for them? The one on the right is going to be Armor of Achilles, which adds infantry heck armor. Interesting. Definitely not anything game-changing all that much in here. And the Tooth Arrows, that's better Archer, Ballista, Pierce attack. So both kind of interesting, but nothing that should be really changing the gameplay of this map all that much. Otherwise, gold mines are in interesting positions. There are 4 for both teams. Yeah, it seems so. This gold is quite far away. Almost seems like that it could be a full gold mine, but no, it isn't. And the gold mines are basically safe all across the map. Not really that much of an issue for either side. Even though this could be targeted potentially by some siege boats. Yeah, well, it's not like it's gonna matter all that much. That's not gonna decide the game. Because looking at the other sources at the top, there are in quite enough numbers. Yep, not really any issue with that. So already going for a lot of gold at the top. That's the small gold mine outside of the range of the towers, but yet again we are on a map where it doesn't matter at all, as we are probably going to be looking in the meantime for the fishy positions, and both of them basically went for the rock in the middle and are going to be trying to control one side for themselves. Seems like the Joy is going to be coming for the top, whereas SuperAfim is quite content with the water at the bottom. And hoping that he actually finds enough, which is not that ensured. You can see not that many fishies. That's a triple, yes, that's triple of what? Perch. Triple, another triple in there, and that's basically it. So he's going to be having 9 fishies. For the opponent, it's going to be triple 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's wow, that's a nice first spawn. But of course, this is going to be a bit advantageous for Joe because he can spam the docks a bit easier for him. And I'm kind of thinking that's what's gonna happen. But still, the docks don't shoot. So if you advance into Classical Age faster, which I kind of thinking that the Poseidon should be, he's still gonna be having pretty good chance to control the shoreline in full, and that might be really enough for him to transport and basically take the land by storm as well. Alright, so temple finished. As Hippocampus is of course gonna be spawned from the docks as well, and on the right side we have already seen the temple also being finished, and we're gonna be switching into Joe. Oh well, he's definitely not going to be advancing anytime soon, so he's just going for extra docks on the right, maybe just for the docks on the left as well a bit later, but so far it's not really all that important for him because he needs a better efficiency from the fishies at this point of the map. But yeah, he should be really thinking about advancing a lot faster, otherwise he's going to be fully relying on the rock, which is kind of risky, but still could be a bit better for him in the longer game, because of course if he can somehow scout and maybe even counter the transport ships, it's going to be always quite harder for SuperAfim to actually back or rather get onto the other side of the map. Yeah, well, still could be a bit of an advantage for him. SuperAfim already going through 80s. So Pestilence is going to be coming into play, but of course, with all the dogs being across the map in there, not really that much of an issue, unless actually SuperAfim does discover this top, which he might, because already Hippocampus is waiting there, so potentially the Pestilence is going to be coming on those two dogs, which will give an advantage to Red, who is already dropping second dog at the bottom, and quite probably there's going to be coming a third one, somewhere at the top. I would be thinking would be a good spot for him, as he needs all the dogs to produce enough boats to win the classical fight for the water. As he's just now going to be coming through, looking at, for example, some upgrades that might be coming somewhere. It's going to be Hendax for him. Pickaxe not. Whereas for the opponent, it's going to be what? What? So far, nothing. Joe, he should be coming probably for Pickaxe. Yes, he is, as he's going to be waiting, of course, for that research and to get the prosperity and whatnot. As he is just now coming halfway into the bus, which is still going to be quite later behind this opponent. And of course, much more importantly, we are just going to be waiting for the Pestilence to be coming into play. Alright, so the first trireme is already in place, going to be annoying the fishing boats as much as possible. Quite enough boats for himself. Okay, Hippocampus come in here, and right about now is a pretty correct time to actually cast the Pestilence. He's already going for it exactly. It's like a decent idea for him. It's kind of interesting that he's not casting it yet. I don't really understand this all that much. Why he's actually allowing even some boats to be actually coming up. This definitely doesn't make any sense at all. Because of course he's given a pretty good opportunity to Joe to somehow make something happen in there right now. Finally, he's going to be a bit delayed, but definitely should have happened a bit different, or rather a bit sooner, because he needs to be trying to win the water without any kind of opposition at all. I'm just going to be checking. Ah, well, he went for the bus, Joe. It's kind of curious. Would be expecting that he might be actually coming for Anubis. That's usually what you go for on water. But apparently he doesn't want to fight for the water, and since he doesn't have all that many resources, and he's gonna lose the water economy as well without any kind of doubt right about now. Well, curious indeed what's gonna happen, as he's right now moving all the way, all the villages right now into prosperity, into medium gold mine, and this is usually a signal that he wants to go into faster heroic, but of course he doesn't have the armory, and much more importantly, he doesn't have anything else. He's going to be having just a ton of gold. He's gonna have to switch into farms, it seems like, as he doesn't want to continue with the hunting for some reason. And on the water, I don't really see how he could be fighting for this. I really don't, because this looks to be starting very well for the Poseidon, and not really all that many chances that Joe could be controlling the water from now on, because of course he's right now... Oh, is this actually coming for the lure? I kind of think that this Ziba actually might have been coming for the lure, because how far it is from the home herd. Yeah, that's kind of funny that it was actually luring it from across the water, but of course that couldn't have worked. And all the build dock, or the unbuilt dock, is going to be coming down, as the rest of the boaties are just getting rid of everything in there. And Joe is not going for any cabinets at all, and he's going to be coming fully for the food economy, coming for the armory, and quite probably even for the farms, but really would be expecting from him husbandry. Yeah, because he still does have some goatee, so he actually can use them getting a bit fatter in the meantime as well. Of course, the water is gonna be finished very soon. I'm just going to be having a look at SuperAfim, how his economy is gonna go, because it should be getting for Heroic Age quite alright. He's already switching into armory and some stables. So apparently readying himself for some transport boats already. Yeah, you can see transport ship already been after Poseidon. Oh, this is sneaky. This is actually quite sneaky from Joe. Even unfortunately for him, of course, there are those two fishing boats, so they are basically going to be giving up the location of this. But still, Red unfortunately doesn't know yet. He hasn't noticed that there is something like this happening, but it's just a question of time before he gets rid of all of this, and it's going to be quite fine to do whatever he wants. In the meantime, Joe, without any kind of food whatsoever, he's having just a ton of wood and a ton of gold, which is not really doing anything for him at all. Getting rid of the dock, and well then, of course, going to be just waiting for the classical ages from both players, as in the meantime, some horses are going to be transported by the transport ship. Right now we should be waiting a bit before all of this is actually killed, so that he doesn't actually give up the position and what he's gonna do, which of course is to be fully expected by Joe, but he doesn't need to know where exactly it's gonna happen, and it's apparently gonna happen exactly in here. Unfortunately, the obelisk is gonna give it up sooner, I think. Yeah, it will. Right now he knows that it's already coming, the horses are coming in, but it's still going to be way too late, because Joe might not be really paying attention in here. And yeah, he isn't, and the hippogons are coming fully into unprepared Joe. And he's going to be in for a very tough surprise, as he's not advancing into the Heroic Age anytime soon, and I don't think he's even prepared just now. Just now the first barracks from him, and that's way too late, because the damage is already gonna be dealt. And oh, why? Why was he actually coming back? That doesn't make any kind of sense at all. Well, that's a bit of a shame. Of course, he could have killed a bit more. He didn't kill, wow, even single one. Yeah, well, that kind of sucks. But anyway, he did force Joe off the food, and that's super important, because the only food source for him are going to be the zebras at the bottom, with the ones at the top not being available all that much, and it basically means that he's going to be forced into the goats and then into the farms pretty soon, which will cost him a ton of gold, as he's just now gonna be clicking into Neftis. Well, right about now I don't understand what his game plan is at all. Maybe he's just basically resigning on everything and he's just going to be coming for wonder. Wouldn't be surprised by that at all, but of course he's in deep trouble, very deep trouble indeed, as SuperAfim is basically controlling the game, going to be switching into Heroic Age just about now, as he's coming first for the copper shields, already has research on the towers, which he's probably going to be trying to build on the other side of the map as well, as he's dropping some medium hippogons. Was another attempt at actually finishing the dock through some fishing boats, as this one is still continuing at the bottom, with the one at the bottom still finished. And at this stage, since he's actually going for the ancestors, I'm kind of thinking he should be already transporting the villagers. I would really like that, if he used this opportunity to already basically move the villagers somewhere to the bottom, basically to drop the Miguel and whatnot, and supremely surprise his opponent, but apparently not the idea right now from Joe, probably not being familiar with the map all that much. And that is going to be meaning that SuperAfim is quite probably going to be having a good game here so far. So it's almost seeming like that actually the home map might have been from SuperAfim and not from Joe, because so far Joe is not playing this map as I would be expecting from our ISIS. That would be playing it as a home map. So, kind of strange, but of course, seems to be working for SuperAfim very well indeed. Very well indeed. As he's transporting everything on the other side of the map, going with the horses everywhere, and hoping that he doesn't maybe even need to transport anything more than just the horses. As finally the dock at the bottom has been discovered, and it will probably mean the end of water shenanigans from Joe. Okay, so already some spearmen are very much alive, trying to be controlling this part of the map. But of course it's not going to be anything all that major, as second TC has been already finished, and apparently it's going to be a bit of a boom-in for him. And maybe just hoping that he can actually surprise his opponent through some sneaky play on the water, maybe even through the ancestors in that. Could be happening. But yeah, second and third TC coming for SuperAfim, and since he is still controlling the game, it's going to be kind of hard for Joe to take the reins of this solo battle. Okay, that's going to be basically the whole army gone from Joe by the using of the curse. Looking quite tough for Joe right now to defend against it, especially since there is another flank of horses already present, and they might be just looking for the tower to take it down. as it doesn't have upgrades yet, so you cannot shoot under itself, so it definitely would be a good opportunity for the horses to get rid of it, and they are aiming exactly for that, but for just a few seconds, and then they are switching away from that, as Joe is switching into farms finally as well. Yeah, well, TCs are gonna get finished right about now, as the economy is definitely gonna be stronger right about now for the red player, as he's just scouting all around, and should be probably spreading it out a bit, basically to deny any kind of opportunity for Joe to potentially do something yet again, because he was doing it everywhere. So far, SuperAfim was able to stop it, but let's see if he's going to be able to stop it for the rest of the game. Well, so far controlling this quite well, and where is actually the transport boat, and what is it carrying? Finally some villages, and it's almost looking like that he might be interested in the TC. Trying to take it for himself. He definitely should have sent a lot more. I would be sending like basically for almost full transport boat of the villages, because of course you need a lot of them. You don't need to waste your time anywhere across the map, as the tower is gonna be dying. As it's gonna be dying, and of course the market is a signal that Joe wants to advance into the mythical age. Well, not exactly sure why, or rather from what position, because of course he doesn't have enough. But it was also because he started just basically trading, going for the TC at the top, but unfortunately he's just discovering that villages were there, and that means that the horses are not going to be far away, or rather far away, as of course Pharaon is dead, and those dudes are going to be dead fairly soon as well. So far he's not moving anywhere, and there is still quite decent trading going on at the bottom of the map. As of course the water is still in full control of the Poseidon. And yep, right now Joe is basically tapping out and realizing that this game, there's absolutely no way for him to come back into it, as basically his only chance at winning was potentially to go for Wonder, because he doesn't have the rocks to transport himself. He didn't go Hathor. He doesn't have any option basically to get on the other side of the map, as long as it is in power of SuperAfim, and there were very limited, if none, chances for Joe to come back, because he wouldn't be able to even finish it up without his opponent noticing, because it's so thin that the fishing boats would be giving the idea to the opponent before anything like that happened. So let's check into the post game. You're gonna see SuperAfim winning everything without any kind of surprise too much. And it seems that if this was really the choice of SuperAfim, which is something that I so far expect, then that was a very good choice indeed, leading him into so far a victory. This is kinda sad. 18 military count units killed 2. His opponent killed 10 times as many. Yeah, well, that just speaks to how well actually this was played by SuperAfim. Just basically no military for the opponent for like the whole game, as opposed to SuperAfim. Alright, GG.